Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III. I am your host with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education, hopefully taking you into a great weekend. I want to give you a thought I had today, and the thought is you are not the voice inside your head. And the reason I have that, I have a voice inside my head. I think you do as well. But I want to recommend a book to you. I've had a couple people ask me about book recommendations recently, and I thought this would be a good one given the time frame, the environment, the circumstances. Of course, I read a lot of business, marketing, and entrepreneurial books, but when I really want to go do some deep work on myself or try to get some personal development done, I'll almost always pull out a book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. This book is, it truly helps me to bring simple perspective on how to identify, influence, and manage, my inner world, my inner game. And the voice inside your head is there. We all have it. It's the voice that constantly talks and won't be quiet. It's the voice that won't turn off at night when you're trying to go to sleep. It's that same voice that, many times is your biggest, opponent and pessimist and doubter. And it's there when you're facing challenges and obstacles in your life. So, I want to remind you that you aren't the voice inside your head. I think this book does a good job of helping to remind you of that as well and give you some strategies. The reason I love this book is it puts it very simply, various ways you can understand, recognize, and deal with your inner voice. And it also helps you to do things like, not just create awareness of that, but understand how your energy is affected, how to let go of things in the past, how to create strategies and perspective to move forward in your life, understanding and influencing your thoughts better. And so I wanted to take a minute today and just point out a few of my favorite statements and things. I've actually got some areas of this book that I've highlighted, and I want to do this so that I can give you some tangible nuggets and also maybe some motivation or encouragement to read this book. I think it'll be a good book for you. So here's a few of the things, and most of these are just right in the first chapter of the book. They're really good, thoughts. So I'm going to give you a few of them. And these are ones that I've just highlighted. The book says, you have a mental dialogue going on inside your head that never stops. It's time to take a step back and examine that voice and get to know it a little bit better. Another spot says, the best way to free yourself from incessant chatter is to step back and view it objectively. You're the one who hears the voice. You're the one who notices that it's talking. There's nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of your mind. You are the one who hears it. You can become very, very empowered when you realize this. It's a strategy I'll talk about maybe here in a minute. But also, much of what the voice says is meaningless. Most of life will unfold in accordance to forces that are completely outside your control. And you have to wonder, it goes on to say, if so much of the voice says is meaningless and unnecessary, why does it even exist? Well, the voice talks, and let's see, I highlighted a little bit more where it says the voice talks because it wants you to know you're okay inside, but you're not, right? You're not okay. That's why it's talking. It's trying to release energy, and it's trying to make you aware of things in your environment. The narration makes you feel more comfortable with the world around you. It makes you feel as though things are more in your control when most of the times they're not. And the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interaction with the mental world is the difference you need to look at. The inner world is an alternate environment that is under your control. You manage to control the experience of reality so that it can fit together inside your mind. Let's see, in the thought world, there's always something you can do to control or influence the experience. Basically, you recreate the outside world inside your mind, and then you live it in your mind so that you can try to gain control over it. But I've really highlighted this. I kind of start it. True personal growth is about transcending the part of you that is not okay and needs protection. You're the one inside that notices the voice talking. To be aware that you're watching the voice is to stand on the threshold of a fantastic inner journey and come to know the one who watches the voice, and you will come to know the one that you will come to know one of the great mysteries of creation. I really love some of those little sections, and that gives you a flavor of the book. But there's a couple other ones I highlighted. It goes on to say, when a problem is disturbing you, you don't ask, what should I do about it? Ask, what part of me is being disturbed by this? If you ask, what should I do about it? You've already fallen into believing that there really is a problem outside that must be dealt with. I tell you, The thing that I love about this book and the perspective I think I could give you today is that there's just a couple, key thoughts that you have to understand, and that is you are not your mind, but your mind is constantly chattering and constantly moving. We have hundreds of thousands of thoughts, right? And you have to learn to influence those thoughts, but more importantly, guide those thoughts. So, here's a strategy that I've used, and it's worked for me. It might not work for you, but you can try it. But when you're dealing with something difficult, stressful, or overwhelming, I recommend you try to just simply identify the emotions and label them. What is it you're feeling? Why are you feeling upset? Why are you feeling sad? Why are you feeling angry? By turning your mind to a logical, side of being the observer of your thoughts, you become empowered at that moment. You become empowered over your thoughts because now you are not associating with the thoughts being you. And when you do this, it helps you to maintain a greater influence over your thoughts, and it definitely empowers you and gives you a little bit more comfort to know that you are seated in the position of monitoring your thoughts. Now, remember, you can't fight your emotions. That doesn't help. Fighting your emotions and experiences, the best thing you can do is recognize them, embrace them, analyze them, but just experience them and let them pass. But these are thoughts that I want to give you because I think so many people are in their heads right now saying, what should I do? How do I do it? I want to clarify things. I want to make a change. I want to get better. You've got all this conversation going on, and sometimes that conversation is good for you and sometimes it's not. But as long as you recognize that you are not your environment, you are not your thoughts, you are the one in control. You are the one that can influence and create the changes in your life. And if you do this, I promise you, you're going to feel more empowered. I promise you that you're going to have more success and more progress. So I hope that's something that, gives you a little something to think about over the weekend. I look forward to talking with you on Monday. Have an amazing weekend. Do something fun, create some memories. This is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.